Um, Thank you. I just talked to a witness who was up at Cook's Corner at the time of this shooting, and he has lost a friend. What he says is there was 5 or 6 shots. They were outside in the picnic area. They heard these shots, and then the shooting stopped, and then it started up again. And he said a group of people on the outside started running, and he said that included his friend, a man in Irvine, from Irvine. And when they were running, he said his friend went down next to him, and he assumed that he had tripped. And again, this witness who I spoke to said that he, kept running and lost track of his friend for a time. After that, he says he came into contact with another victim, someone who was shot in the arm and had a pretty bad injury. He described him as a cook at the restaurant. He said they barricaded themselves in the kitchen, and he grabbed a frying pan and they waited it out there. He said later is when he found out that his friend in fact hadn't tripped, but he was shot in the back and was killed. He also told me a story about a woman who he spoke to. He described her as an employee who works at Cook's Corner, and he said that she came up to him and described this encounter with the gunman. Apparently, the woman was pregnant, and she said to the gunman, "Please don't kill me. I'm 5 months pregnant." And the gunman then said, "Get out of here." So these are just a few of the stories that were being told. Again, I just hung up a few minutes ago with this witness. He is still up at the scene. He said, he's understandably in shock, and he's been interviewed several times by law enforcement, and he remains up at Cook's Corner. Behind me, you can see all of the cameras and the podium. We are awaiting a new briefing from the Orange County Sheriff's Department at 11 o'clock. So we hope to get a few more details about the shooter, who, as we know, is dead, and who our sources have told us is a former police officer with Ventura Police. Back to you.
And so, Michelle, if I'm understanding correctly, that friend that you were talking, the friend of the victim, that person was actually at Cook's Corner?
That's right. He was there with his friend outside in the picnic area. There's kind of like a beer garden out there, lots of tables set up outside. And he said they heard 5 or 6 shots coming from inside, and then it stopped. And then there were a volley of shots. He said maybe 30 shots afterwards, and that's when they all started running.
Michelle Gili at the scene here in Trabuco Canyon of Cook's Corner, where there's a scene of a deadly mass shooting that occurred earlier tonight, just after 7 o'clock. 4 people dead, found on the scene, 6 with gunshot wounds. In addition to those 4 dead, all taken to a trauma center, 2 in critical, 4 in stable. Michelle, thank you so much. We know that you'll have additional information coming up later here on KCAL News. I'd like to get to Desmond Shaw, because Michelle had mentioned that there were, the witness had known that somebody saw this and was still at the scene now. Are you seeing that they are releasing anybody? What's the latest on the people being interviewed? You had one person that might have been able to leave. Can you tell me more?
I can see what looks like maybe a detective interviewing someone right now. This is where it's all taking place, I believe, in the beer garden that Michelle Gili was just referencing. We know that at least a few people have cleared from the scene. I've seen at least one, I believe 2 vehicles that left here, this whole side parking lot, that they have been able to leave. And now that we know from what Michelle is saying from her source, it sounds like the shooting began inside here at Cook's Corner. I was originally thinking that maybe it happened in the beer garden, but we know that that couldn't have happened also because that's where we have everyone gathered up. And sheriff's deputies would not have all of these people gathered in this area if that was where any of the shooting took place, because they would be too close to potential evidence or stuff like that. So, so if the shooting happened inside, the nearest body is in this area where there is a canopy, kind of in this in-between area between the interior of the building and that large beer garden, and then the other 2 victims out in this area. So I'm wondering if the person in the rear was the person who was killed first, and if that is the suspect's wife or not, or if one of these 2 out here in front underneath these canopies is one of the suspect's wife. Over here underneath this canopy of trees where this spotlight is, there is another canopy, and that is where the suspect is. At first we thought that that they were inside of a vehicle, but they're actually on the ground. I did see that in the last orbit that we came through. So we're starting to kind of piece this together a little bit at a time. A very key detail there, it sounds like, with the shooting actually beginning in the interior of Cook's Corner.
Well, you know, as Michelle was talking about, 5 to 6 shots heard first in the picnic area. The shooting stopped, according to the friend of the victim that Michelle was talking with tonight on the phone. And then the shooting started again. Now, I want to bring your attention to some sound that we got with someone who actually heard the shooting. So let's listen to that.
We heard gunshots just randomly start going off. And then a few minutes later, we heard it kind of increasing. We were like really confused what was going on, and we were kind of scared, and then we kind of ran back inside. But it's just a crazy scene from there.
So the gunshots started, they paused, and they continued?
Yeah, they kind of paused for a second. I think that was the original shooting, and then when they continued, I think it was when the police officers showed up.
Got it.
That's what me and my mom could tell anyway.
So when you were looking down there, what could you see?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's a bit of a look, but we definitely saw the cop cars coming up, and then we heard the gunshots kind of increase once the cops were there. So that's kind of what was going on.
So what are you thinking the whole time that this is going on?
I mean, we were super scary. All the neighbors were out in the middle of the street, like, what is going on? Why are there gunshots right in our backyard? And then it was a very scary moment. My mom and I, we looked for a second, then we got scared because we didn't know how close it was. So we went back inside our house, and then I was kind of scared for an hour or two, so then I finally came back down here just to check it out closer to the scene.
Well, that witness confirming what we heard from Michelle's witness, 5 to 6 shots in the picnic area, or the shots heard first, it's stopping, and then lots of shots happening again. And that witness telling us that he believes that's when police were engaging.
And that's when that young man probably heard the second volley, if you will, is once the police officers with the Orange County Sheriff's Department showed up, then they exchanged gunfire with the shooter. So 5 or 6 shots, and then people running. More shots later, probably when officers arrived.